Hey everybody, I'm Key.
And I'm Rita.
Welcome to BelleAire Radio.
Produced on the campus of Bennett College. Our HBCU is proud to be a part of SiriusXM's HBCU satellite radio channel.
We are going to bring you news, commentary, sports, radio dramas, interviews, and much more from our Bennett family of students, faculty, staff, alumni, and friends of the college.
Hello to those of you in your cars. Relax, pull over to the right lane and drive the exact speed limit and enjoy the show.
Now, if you are out jogging right now, you're going to need to run a couple of extra miles. No stopping now.
And if you're at home doing some chores, maybe take some time to do a little extra dusting because we aim to entertain you for the next half hour.
Rita, I am so excited.
Why?
Okay, our sister Racquel is going to talk to Synthia Saint James, who is a world-renowned artist and a friend of Bennett College. Did you know that she did artwork for the show A Different World?
OMG, really? I have such a crush on Dwayne Wayne. Ugh.
Rita, really? He's like old enough to be your grandpa.
Girl, no, he's not. He looks fine on my VHS tape. Let me go pop it in for you.
You are crazy. But anyways, she also created the Kwanzaa stamp. It was really cool.
Do you remember when stamps were like 32 cents? Oh, the good old days.
No, nobody remembers that. You just sent me 5 emails and 6 text messages. What do you need a stamp for?
I like to write letters too.
Okay. I don't have time for this right now. But what I do have time for is our sister Racquel, who is interviewing Synthia Saint James.
Hi, I'm Racquel Bethea, and I have with me Miss Synthia Saint James. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming and having this interview. So I have a few questions for you. So for people who don't know who you are, can you tell about your history in the art world?
I think that most people will recognize me, not so much physically, but from the work would be the first Kwanzaa stamp, and from the cover art for Terry McMillan's Waiting to Exhale.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about any other work that you've done?
Oh, there's so many. Oh, I have over 75 book covers.
Wow.
So, including most everyone has Acts of Faith, Ayanna Van Sant, in their house. Then I've done work, covers for like Alice Walker. I have over 75 book covers that I've done. Other work would be probably work seeing subliminal seduction on television shows like Martin, Moesha, Hanging with Mr. Cooper. It's at least 12 shows.
Shows such as A Different World.
A Different World, yes. There's so many, and then there's some short films, and there's some other TV series. And what may show up shortly, I'm not quite sure when, was 16 of my pieces was chosen for a TV pilot for Situation Calm, sitcom that's going to be hopefully coming out soon. And that's called Basketball Wives. Basketball Wife. Yeah, it's got quite a cast. Yeah.
Not to be confused with the reality TV show Basketball Wives.
Right, yeah. This is a Michael Ajakwe production. And veterans like you know, Judy Pace is in it. You know, some of the guest stars are people like Sly Stone, Denise Williams playing a judge, and on and on and on.
All right,
Ray Parker Jr. is even as a guest. He's creating the music for it.
Awesome.
Right.
What would you say would be your hardest piece that you have made?
I would say that it would be the challenge of painting something so small as 4.5 by 5.5 inches, which was the Kwanzaa stamp.
Okay.
That's as large as you can create a painting for a stamp. And then the other one that was almost terrifying because I had never done it before was designing 2 feet by 8 inches high by 150 feet across ceramic tile mural for an airport.
How long did you think that took you?
I thought it was going to take forever, but what I did is, believe this is exactly what I did because I was nervous. I didn't understand anything about fabricating then, so I had to design it to scale on paper.
Okay.
So I drew it, I color-coded it, made a color chart so that ceramic tilists could cut it out like a puzzle, glaze it, and bake the colors in. So it became 6 different puzzles because each piece was 25 feet long.
Awesome.
Okay, but how I got through that is I listened the whole time to Sade's greatest hits.
Awesome. So you said for that process you listened to a certain album. So What do you do typically when you're preparing to do your pieces?
Well, it depends on what the painting is focused on. There's a painting I did years ago. It's called Reggae. So the whole time I just listened to reggae music because they were dancing. Everyone in this painting was dancing. In fact, that's one of the pieces that Jennifer Lewis owns. And so it was just made all the sense in the world to just keep listening to music and dancing. There's other smoother things or some African pieces. Sometimes I might listen to some jazz, Caribbean music, other kinds of Caribbean music, Brazilian music, Latin jazz. It just really, it makes sense whatever it is. Sometimes it just has to be really mellow. Because then I'll want to get up and dance instead of paint.
And when did this all start for you? When did you know, at what age and at what time did you know like this was your calling?
When I was a little girl in New York, when I was 5 years old, is when I began saying that I wanted to be an artist when I grew up. But I meant it. For some reason I remembered that I meant it. But I never realized how big it would become.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you have any inspirations?
Well, my favorite painters was actually the French Impressionists.
Okay.
So at one point, the first time that I was even being covered as an artist in a newspaper at home in Los Angeles area was because I was part of an exhibit in Paris.
Wow.
And it was my wild and domestic animals.
Wow.
So it was just really incredible to, like, the first time you see part of your dream is to actually go to a place and see your name in a couple of French newspapers. And yeah.
That's exciting. What advice would you have to for young artists?
Definitely to study hard. You know, I'm self-taught, so we all make a lot of mistakes, but it's about being able to continue to, like they say, you try again until you get it right. And then it would be always to listen to your heart and follow your passion, and always have some form of work that you can do to back you up financially. Right.
And for you, what was that form of work?
I used the left side of my brain, so it wouldn't mess with the right side of the brain. So I did a lot of accounting for a computer corporation when software was this big.
Like
yeah, I was learning accounting, and it would be all the accounting would be on a software big disk like that. I also worked in the record business. I learned publicity and promotion. So worked for a small record company that was Leon Russell's, but people that started with Shelter Records were people like Phoebe Snow and later the Gap Band.
Okay.
And we were distributed by like Capitol and MCA and yeah.
And so not only are you an artist, but you've also been an actress. So can you talk about your experience now as a playwright?
Yes, wow. Well, because of writing children's books, writing and illustrating children's books, I've worked off and on for a while now at St. Augustine's, and actually that's where I got my honorary doctorate degree in 2010.
Okay,
yeah,
congratulations.
Thank you. In the same year, I was the first painter to receive the Trumpet Award.
Okay.
So 2010 was a big year.
Huge year.
But what they've always done is they've utilized everything that I've done that they know of. So they've used my book, Living My Dream, in English class as a mandatory reading. They've used it where I taught a business class when I would only be there 2 weeks, and the teacher would take over when I was gone. Later, because of the Kwanzaa books I've done, they asked me to work with the theater department.
Okay.
So then I worked with the head of theater, and we together created a play, musical, using a song I co-wrote too.
Oh, awesome.
Right.
So you are just a woman with many hats. You are a dancer. You're a dancer. You are an actress. You're an artist, and you're one more thing that I'm leaving out.
Well, architectural designer.
Ah, okay. Can you explain what that is for people who don't know?
That was a term I decided to use. And sometimes people think when I say it that I'm an architect.
Okay.
Okay, but architect.
It's like, wow, she does it all.
Yeah, no, no. Architectural designer, for my interpretation of what it means, is that I've designed stained glass windows for a West Tampa library in Tampa, Florida. So I designed it, again, paper. Well, this one I actually did the painting, and then Color Lab got it to the glass artists in Tampa, and they recreated from what I created. So my design, and they fabricated. I've designed elevator doors for Sacramento government building in California. So actually the elevator doors are open and closing with my work on it. So 6 elevator doors.
That is so cool.
And that's etched into metal. And then a mural that I created, but 3 stories high, but the muralist stood on the scaffolds and painted it.
Awesome.
You know, so that's some of them. Yeah.
So your work is nationwide, international. International.
Yeah.
How did you start? How did you raise money in the beginning to get your work off the ground?
By doing all these left-sided brain jobs. But at one point, I was doing a little bit in the early 70s. I was doing a little bit of modeling. Okay. Print. And a photographer I was working with, I really never liked being photographed.
Oh, okay.
So he suggested that wouldn't it be great if I took an acting class? So that's when I started taking performing arts, Inner City Cultural Center in LA. So I took dance and I took acting. From Glenn Turman was my primary teacher, and acting and improv. And I caught the bug for a while. I did a couple of films, and then the last thing that I did was I got a national McDonald's ad, and I was the spokesperson, a counter girl, take us along, and it was national. So within 3 months' time, there was enough residuals coming in that I was able to stay home and paint for 6 months.
Any funny interactions you had with people during that time?
Well, first of all, the ironic part was doing the McDonald's commercial. It was a multicultural commercial. And so it was well mixed at the children and handing the kid the bag and having a twin kid that the other one cried and whatever. The other part that was funny is that back then I wasn't eating meat at all.
Oh.
So my little snack was cottage cheese from across the street while we were filming it. The other thing, it was just very interesting to do that because I always played younger than I was. No one ever believed how old I was. I always played teenagers from 15 to 17 up until I was 28. Wow. So that was something. But it was amazing to be up late one night at 1 o'clock in the morning and have the TV on, and suddenly I'm on the television. Wow. It was like, did that just happen? You know, the other thing was, I think most of the audience that was excited, except of course my family, was my fellow actors and whatever. Just said, I saw your commercial, I saw your commercial. But to walk into a McDonald's and the young ladies behind the counter saying, oh, that's the one that's on McDonald's. You know, I had on a little cap. I was totally dressed like the McDonald's person. You know, so yeah.
Wow.
I thought that was the most fun. And some of my friends that were with me were just cracking up laughing.
Awesome.
Yeah. Then from there I ended up working part-time for Disney and then going back into the record business until I could do it again. So it was always like that.
So you are the first something in California. So can you talk about how you made history in California?
Yeah. In researching myself, sometimes I have to go back, even in writing the book, to think about things that stood out that were different that happened to me. Maybe not always because I pursued it, but that just happened. So I actually was the first African American to work at Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. What I loved about it there is that we were fitted costume design, Susie Wong dresses back then, fit to us. It was not just a uniform.
Wow.
You know, we had our little flashlights. You know, we were supposed to be cute, whatever. But one of the major civil rights organizations were getting ready to boycott Grauman's Chinese because they had never hired a black person.
Wow.
So I was the first one.
That's amazing. So you're here at Bennett College's campus, and this is not your first time. You're actually looking at the new developments that you that they've built since you have been going. Can you talk about your experience and your history with Bennett?
I started first being invited to Bennett by Dr. Alma Adams back right soon after the Kwanzaa stamp. So I believe the first time I actually visited was in 1999. Okay, and I came in, I had an exhibit at the African American Atelier, and I did a couple of lectures here. I got to speak at the Greensboro Public Library, got to interact with the children here, you know, little babies. Yes. I worked with them on some of my picture books, you know, read stories, and even received the key to the city of Greensboro, all in that visit. And since then, a lot of time lapsed, but then it started doing things more so again in 2010. came here at another exhibit at the BelleAire and did workshops there where A&T and also Bennett students came to, and spoke here again. And the last time was in 2011 with a conference for business for women with Dr. Alma Adams, Nikki Giovanni, and myself.
Wow.
So it was a business conference.
Nice setup right there.
Right. Yeah, right. And now since Dr. Alma Adams has retired, and speaking to some mutual friends, I found out that there was a new president. I reached out to the president to let her know I still wanted to continue an involvement in a relationship with Bennett. So next year I'll be here again to do some things. And some things are also around her inauguration. Right. So I'm here. Yesterday I got a chance to speak and also work with a class, and then soak up some more of Bennett and get a chance to speak to more of the students and get feedback from them, how they feel about Bennett and why they chose Bennett, just for my creative research.
Do you have any words, not just for an artist, but for young people as myself, any words of wisdom that you can give?
Well, I feel like this, that anything and everything you do in life is going to make up all the components who you are, just like all these different things I have done. But my main passion has always been a painter. You know, I also write too, but I'm a painter. And so stay true to that passion and enjoy all the other things you might have to do in the interim until you can fully take care of yourself.
Hey, thank you so much. Before we go, we do want to talk about the book that you have. Is there any way that people can buy it? Where can they pick up the book and the name of it also? Okay,
it's Living My Dream, an Artistic Approach to Marketing. And what it does is primarily just gives little short chapters of my life and my mistakes and my journey as an artist with some marketing tips. The marketing tips are recapped at the end of it, and then some affirmations from another one of my books called The I Wills According to Saint James for creative people is at the back. The easiest way to remember is to go to Amazon.com or to go to CynthiaSaintJames.com and buy it directly from my website.
Alrighty, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you more.
Hey Key, now that we have this new radio show, I'm really excited to talk about the new president that we just got in August, Dr. Rosalind Hughes Hall.
I love her. Like, on campus, she has so much energy. Like, she's just the person that you walk past. She talks to you, smiles. She just brings you good energy.
I totally agree. Now, August may seem like a little far back, but she gave some encouraging words to our new freshwoman. Here's the clip.
Good morning. And oh, what a glorious morning it is. You have just witnessed 213 Bennett fresh women and 43 early middle college students become linked in to Bennett College. Becoming a part of a legacy that has spanned 140 years. Ladies, by your signature, you have accepted an awesome responsibility to uphold the traditions and values of the women that have marched through the Bearden Gates before you, who studied and shown themselves approved by the trustees, who earned their degrees and have gone on to become leaders in this nation, their respective communities, and in their homes. This was your first official act as a Belle, showing courage to accept the mantle that requires you to continue the legacy. Faculty, staff, administrators, alumni, parents, and other college supporters, we have served as witnesses to this act of courage, and therefore we have also taken a pledge by watching this traditional ceremony. We pledge that we will assist, encourage, challenge these young ladies that not just to matriculate to Bennett College, but to progress through their academic major and receive a degree in 4 or 5 or however long it takes, not from those other schools, but from Bennett College. We as witnesses are just as responsible as these ladies to ensure that their dream of obtaining a degree from this historic place is achieved. Now, this is a remarkable group of young ladies hailing from Washington State and Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Georgia, and Greensboro, North Carolina. We have students from Indonesia and New York City and other parts of this nation and this world. You have gathered in this place at this time to become a part of something great, the legacy of Bennett Bells. Ladies, you have great potential, and I hope you are eager to join our returning students and the other community of scholars that are among our faculty and staff. Bennett College was founded to foster and build an intellectual curiosity that will lead to a dialogue about ideas and concepts. Further, our goal is to enhance your critical thinking as well as your overall communication skills. At Bennett, you will learn to maximize your confidence and courage as a woman who can and will lead boldly in the 21st century. Yes, that's what is unique about the Bennett College experience, and it will only happen here. Other women, very similar to you, have matriculated to Bennett College to learn. But more than just engaging in stimulating conversations and completing assignments, Bennett College instills among its students a bond of sisterhood that lasts over the years. Our Bells are women of action and civic engagement. Bennett Bells were a part of the Civil Rights Movement, integrating the Woolworth lunch counters alongside the gentlemen of North Carolina A&T University. Now, with this historic backdrop, the class of 2017 sits before us with their own dreams, creating an aura of potentiality, promise, and purpose. This faculty and administration pledges that we will provide a rigorous curriculum that will challenge your thoughts. And I hope that each student, in return, will promise to accept those challenges by being in class, well prepared, courageous to express her thoughts on a subject, and engaging that awesome exchange of ideas that makes the classroom a vibrant and dynamic learning opportunity. If we collectively do this, then I am sure our foremothers and forefathers will beam with pride at your continuation of their legacy. Did you know that the first African-American woman surgeon in the South was a Bennett graduate? Dr. Dorothy L. Brown. Also, Belinda Foster, the first African-American woman to become a district attorney in North Carolina, was a Bennett graduate. Our traditions, from entering the Bearden Gates to our ACES programs and our all-white occasions, will provide years of memories and engender a powerful sense of self-confidence and courage. And that's what the world needs, is courage. The world hungers for courageous leaders and individuals willing to make a difference not only in their communities, but among our global neighbors. This is the legacy that you have inherited by signing your names in that historic register. People have asked me, why do we need HBCUs or women's college? And for that matter, one that is both an HBCU and a women's college. But if those inquiring minds had just stopped by dear old Bennett College this morning, I could have shown them why. I would have said, just behold, 256 women, courageous women, bold scholars, women brave enough to join the ranks of 5,000 women who've come before them over the span of 140 years, who have matriculated into these hallowed halls, learned how to think for themselves, capable of analyzing material, engaged in dialogue with scholars, and unapologetically saying, I am a wise woman with a solution to your issue. Don't worry, Mr. President. Bennett Bells have got this. So, let us stand together as the Bennett College family, bound together by legacy that has transcended generations to educate and celebrate women. Stand with me, my colleagues. Former and current administrators, please stand. Faculty and staff, please stand. Stand with me, parents, friends, supporters of Bennett College. Stand with me, my bold and brilliant Bennett Bells, please stand. Stand on the shoulders of all those that have gone before us and say, we've got this. Thank you. Please remain standing while we have the alma mater.
Wow, that speech really makes me proud to be a Bennett Belle, and that message keeps me motivated as I continue on with my college work. And I'll also be checking out CynthiaSaintJames.com. That's Cynthia with an S. Now, before we go, I want to leave my fashionistas with a little tip. We're here on worldwide satellite radio, where some of you may be freezing your buns off, but a lot of you are enjoying this warm, beautiful weather. And I have a little tip for you. Don't be afraid to have fun. Be bold with your wardrobes. Mix your prints. For those of you who don't know what prints are, they are repetitive patterns, such as stripes, which are vertical or horizontal, florals, and Aztecs. Putting them together in a particular way makes your outfit pop. Now, for those of you who are unfortunately stuck in cold weather, I may have a tip for you next show. Thanks for listening. I'm Rita. I'll talk to you next time.